Folks, it's that most magical time of the week. America's favorite segment. It's time for free money!
For your bookie.
Free money!
For your bookie.
Our college football picks against the spread. Last week, another nice week. 6-4 for me. Ish, you were gone because I was. This was a.
This is a quarantine zone.
This is a quarantine zone. What's the word for that? There's a infirmary. It was an infirmary, so you were kept out of it.
Max literally kept me out of the studio.
Another 10-game slate of college football games across the state. We'll finally get Ish's picks. I'm 12-9 on the year. Ish is 4-7, but this is the rally week. Max Thompson, what's our first game?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Try to contain your excitement for the segment, Max.
You know what? I will say
I think he's looking at the spreads.
This is one of the most exciting weeks for the top-tier games.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
holy crap.
Yeah.
Is it a sad and desperate week for the underdogs.
There are a couple games,
and we
including
start
these first two, that I'm like, oh.
We start in Knoxville, 11 a.m. Saturday. Your UTEP Miners are 30.5-point dogs, and that might be generous.
Yeah.
And Tennessee is not good.
Knoxville. There was an episode of The Simpsons in which Bart got a fake ID and they rented a car and they decided to drive to Knoxville for the 1982 World's Fair, even though it was 1996. And so they went up in the Sun Sphere, but it was a wig sphere, and so they all got wigs. It's a long story.
Can either of you sing any part of Rocky Top?
Thankfully, no.
So when I lived in Atlanta, we went to the SEC Championship game one year.
Yeah.
And we sat next to the Tennessee band.
Oh, so you learned it by the end of the
Good old Rocky Top. That is, by the way, Boomer Sooner and Rocky Top are the bottom two. In some order, I'm okay with either order.
They've never been in a bowl, right?
Well, together? No, I feel like the universe would have collapsed on itself like a dying star
bowl
if they
selection
did.
committees have been like, no.
No, not you two. Okay, so Tennessee's not very good. The offense is not good. They want to run the ball and complete efficient passes, but they're kind of bad at both of them.
Right.
They've got a running back in Tim Jordan they feel pretty good about. The defense is not very good, and it's especially not very good against the pass. UTEP actually showed some signs of life last week. I know that sounds kind of odd, but they actually did.
Sure.
But on the ground, they need a big game from Q Wadley, but the defense is so bad. It's so bad. And on the road, I'm going to take Tennessee minus 30.5. I can't believe I'm doing that, but I've got to.
Northern Arizona won by 20.
In El Paso.
In El Paso. So you're saying
and
an
Tennessee
SEC team just needs to get 11 points.
10 points, yeah. Tennessee, this is damning with faint praise. Tennessee's better than Northern Arizona.
Right.
I can't believe I said that on the show. Ish, who are you going with?
Come on. It's Tennessee.
Yeah. All right. Max, what's next?
You might say to yourself, it can't get any worse than that.
Oh, boy.
But let me tell you, we're going to the Big House, 2:30 p.m. Saturday. SMU, 36-point underdogs. 36.
So,
SMU, a bowl team last year.
Yeah, but you've seen them.
I know, but
Yeah. The offense for Michigan, the offense is kind of middling. Their quarterback play from Shea Patterson. Remember him? Shea Patterson has been bad, but their running game's actually okay. Karen Higdon and company. The defense is solid. They make a fair amount of splash plays, and that's basically all you need to know, is that their defense is solid. I think you can make an argument, with all due respect to our friends at North Texas, this is the best defense. No, I'm sorry, they played TCU. And TCU held them to 12 points.
It's up there with TCU.
It's up there with TCU. This is a good defense.
Yeah.
They're going to make some splash plays. The question is, can the Michigan offense score enough?
Right.
Well, North Texas I think North Texas' offense is better than Michigan's.
That's sure.
At least,
I mean, this year a lot of offenses might be better than Michigan's.
Yeah. So, I don't know. This is tough for me. I think that's asking a little bit too much of Michigan.
I know.
I'm going to take SMU. I'm going to take SMU plus 36.
I was going to say, I think the biggest thing is Michigan going to be able to get a spread of 30? Is their offense going to be able to score 36?
I trust SMU's only going to score 10 points.
Right.
But the question then is, are you asking Michigan to score 47? And I'm just not sure they can.
They had a great game last week against Western Michigan. They put up points. I'm going I'm taking Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're taking Michigan.
I think they
Got
can.
it. All right. What's next, Max?
36 is a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
That's why I'm going with SMU.
It's a lot of points.
Actual interesting game now.
Yeah, we get a reprieve, a brief reprieve.
Oh, yeah, this one's good.
Duke coming into Waco. We're going to stop at Magnolia, get some nice things to take back to North Carolina.
Stop at the check stop.
Stop at the check stop. Yeah. But they're going to play a football game. And Baylor, a 6-point favorite.
How about that?
All right.
Now, part of this is that Duke's starting quarterback's out.
Yep.
Daniel Jones is out. They're going to go to Quentin Harris, their backup, who I believe our college football insider, Shayon J. Raja, was telling me has thrown something like 17 career passes in college. I will say, so they actually try to run the ball a fair amount, but they're not very good at it. This is going to be, but then again, Baylor played UTSA last week, a team that cannot run the ball, and UTSA had some success running the ball.
B.J. Daniels looked really good.
Baylor's running defense is a problem, and so if Britton Brown and Deion Jackson have a big game, it's going to be problematic. Now, their defense is actually solid all the way out, but they can be beat through the air. Mm-hmm. So for me, the name of the game for Baylor is they've got to be able to stop the run, and they've got to hit a couple of plays over the top.
Sure.
I'm going to go with the Bears. I think, and by the way, I maintain that this is the game that will decide bowl eligibility. I think you look at their schedule. I don't think a whole lot of my opinion has changed on Baylor so far. That I think that they're either a 5 or 6 win team. This is that 6th win. They've got to win this game. If they win this game, I think they're going bowling. If they don't, it's going to be a lot tougher. I think they get the win. I think they cover. I think they win by about a touchdown. Give me Baylor.
I'm going Baylor too because I think at the beginning of the season we looked at this game and it was like they got to face Oklahoma 4-0.
Yeah.
They have to be 4-0 facing Oklahoma.
Correct.
Because they're not going to beat Oklahoma, but they need to be able to say they have that cushion of getting off to that unbeaten start.
Correct. Max, what's next?
Only
Jesus.
It's a very short snuff film compared to the other two, which are sagas. The Roadrunners scooting on up to Manhattan, Kansas. 3 p.m. Saturday. They are 21.5-point dogs.
And here's the thing. Kansas State sucks.
Not great.
Man.
Mississippi State just might be really good.
Maybe that's
fair,
possible.
in their defense.
They only beat South Dakota by 3.
They beat South Dakota by 3.
How much did you beat South Dakota by, Ishmael?
I'm waiting for your answer.
That's what I thought.
3's not that much more.
Okay, so here's the book on Kansas State. This is an atrocious offense because they have a bad offensive line and no running game. And when Bill Snyder has a bad offensive line and no running game, he doesn't really have a plan B.
Right.
So they're just going to keep running Skylar Thompson and Alex Barnes into the defense just over and over and over. And I will say that the front 7 for UTSA is not necessarily the problem, right? Their defense is also pretty bad against the run. And if the defense, and they're actually solid versus the pass, but I think every pass UTSA throws from here on out is a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I don't know. I think UTSA is going to cover this. I think they're going to beat 21.5. I'm going to take UTSA plus 21.5. I think that they showed some signs of life offensively last week on the ground. If they can continue to get some of that running game going, I think they've got a chance to be pretty. I think they got a chance to cover.
I'm going UTSA too, just because I just don't see Kansas State as that dominant team, that dominant running team like you've mentioned. We've seen from Bill Snyder the past couple of years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If they're not able to run the ball, and especially I think that say what you want about UTSA, I don't think that running game. I don't think the run defense is necessarily the problem.
Sure.
The front 7. My question now is, can they continue to let these running back? Can they get another big game from B.J. Daniels?
Mm-hmm.
If that happens, then I think they're right in it, not just to cover, but maybe to make this thing interesting.
Sure.
Max, what's next?
Do we get issues? Do we get
Oh,
issues?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pick UTSA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I'm barely paying attention.
I know you are.
He's just here.
The story of the show.
Time for things to get sexy. Woo! The Mean Green just traveling a little ways up the road. Fayetteville taking on the Razorbacks and their old foe Chad Morris. Mean Green 7-point dogs. You wouldn't think it based on how everyone on the planet is like, UNT's the pick in this game.
So here's the book on Arkansas. They've got a passing offense that can't get in gear.
Mm-hmm.
They can't actually run the ball. They're kind of toggling between quarterbacks, Ty Story and Cole Kelly. Their running back, hey, remember Devwa Whaley?
I do.
Yeah.
He's been actually decent for them. The opponents know they can pass on them, and so they do. And they also don't get much of a pass rush. They're 81st in the nation in points allowed or yards allowed per pass. Look, I know that because we do this segment on Thursday, we've been beat to this take. But guys, North Texas is going to go to Arkansas and beat Arkansas. They're going to win this game. I think the matchup is there. So, yeah, I'll take North Texas +7. I think they're going to win outright. I think they're going to win this game. I can't help but shake. I think that this is such a good matchup for them as far as what Arkansas doesn't do well. Mm-hmm. Well, what could harm? What are the things that we think could hurt North Texas? A dominant pass rush,
right,
or a really good secondary.
Sure.
Does Arkansas have either of those?
No.
No. I'm taking North Texas +7 with a little caveat. I think they're winning outright.
And by the way, I'm taking that as well. And if you don't have either of those things on defense against North Texas, you better have a good passing offense, which Arkansas does not. They're a physical running team that was built to be that. Now learning to play in Chad Morris' system, that's a 2-year adjustment at least.
Right, you're taking Wisconsin's offense and trying to turn them into the spread, and the horses just ain't on campus yet. We love Chad Morris on the show, but the horses just ain't there yet.
Right.
North Texas. What's the hand? It's this, right? The Talon?
Sure.
Going North Texas.
I think you made that up.
What's next, Max?
Yeah, it's fine. It looks right. Yeah. I don't know. Another sweet, sexy game. Mm-hmm. The Cougs going up to Texas Tech. 3:15 p.m. Saturday. Mm-hmm. The Cougs, a 1-point favorite.
Basically, this whole game comes down to how much stock do you put into Texas Tech 77, Lamar nothing.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more it's like if you think that was just like the breakout game where they got everything fixed and everything's okay, then you're like, all right, Tech's got it rolling now. Alan Bowman's comfortable. The offense is comfortable. Defense is rounding into
Also, how
form.
good do you think Arizona is?
Yeah, and how good do you think Arizona is, right? I got to be honest, man. Before the season, I thought this was a Tech win, and I flipped. I think Houston's winning this game. Now, the great thing is that basically with a 1-point line, you're basically picking a winner.
Sure.
I'm going to take Houston. I think Houston's going to go up there and win. I think that what you saw last week is Houston kind of coming into their final form and looking like we know they can.
Right. De'Aaron King's officially their quarterback now and looking like he has the offense going.
Right.
The defense looks really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think, like you said, I think it comes down to do you put more stock in Houston dominating Arizona or Tech dominating Lamar? And I'd rather look at the FBS matchup.
I totally agree. I think Houston's going up to Lubbock and coming away with a win. I'm taking the Cougs in this one. Both taking Houston -1. What's next, Max?
The Black Heart of Darkness Bowl.
Jesus, God in heaven.
Texas State versus South Alabama. 6 p.m. Saturday.
I'm going to let Ishmael Johnson, our resident Texas State expert, handle it.
All right. Well, we touched on it a
Wait,
little bit.
whoa.
Spread. Yeah.
Sorry.
Your Texas State Sadcats. 10.5-point dogs. Go ahead, take it.
All right. Well, let me just
get
the. I have to go full. Full disclosure.
It's going full alumnus.
Full disclosure to show that I'm absolutely biased. No. I have no idea what to expect from this game. We've talked about it a little bit before the interview that Texas State could win this game by 21 and South Alabama could win this game by 14 or 20 as well. 10 is about accurate. It's kind of setting the margin there at it could go either way. I don't know if I'm going to take them outright, but I'm going to take Texas State to beat the spread.
Okay. That's interesting. And I don't hate it. I want to pull up something that I go to pretty often.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure. I want to see what Texas State is against the spread in their history. Because basically, you're right. This is El Assico of the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
And so what you start looking at is trends, okay? You start looking at trends.
And it's in Alabama. So it could be like also like a torrential downpour.
Correct.
So
let's see. Can I go back a year? I don't know if I can. So Texas State did not cover against Texas Southern, and they did not cover against Rutgers.
Right.
I would love to say I'd love to go with Texas State, but I can't.
That's fine.
I'm going with let's see. Actually, I can pull this up. 2016 was when Withers took over, right?
Yeah,
so
16.
Yeah.
2016.
Take your time. This segment's not too long.
You're fine.
Anyway. Nah.
They are 10-13 against the spread as underdogs. I'm going to go with Texas. I'm going to go with South Alabama.
Okay.
I think. Did you take Texas State?
Yeah, I took them. Beat the
Okay.
spread.
Yeah, you are a homer. Okay. What's next, Max?
Easy call of the week. Louisiana Monroe at Texas A&M. 6:30 p.m. A&M 26.5-point favorites.
Like, basically, your only question here is there a letdown?
Right.
That's basically it.
Right.
They should. Now, Louisiana Monroe's not lunch meat.
Is there a
They actually
is there
stopped-
a look-ahead factor?
They actually-
is there a letdown
there's
and a look ahead?
A look ahead and letdown.
Oh, they got Alabama.
They got Alabama next after a bye, I think. But they got Alabama next. Is there a look ahead? Is there a letdown? That's basically the only question here. I will say Louisiana Monroe is actually a pretty good defense. They stopped the run pretty well, which could be interesting. But I see no reason not to go with A&M. I'm going to go with A&M minus 26.5.
I like Matt Viator. I thought he's a really fun offensive mind, but yeah, I don't see any way that A&M doesn't cover.
Both
this.
taking A&M minus
doesn't
26.5. What's next, Max? Here's the
We're
big one.
up in the sexy factor again.
This is Chief Sexy.
7 p.m. at Jerry World, Saturday. Number 4 Ohio State taking on number 15 TCU. TCU 12.5-point dogs. Harsh. That's just mean.
In a de facto home game.
Harsh.
Like,
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. Like, it's technically a neutral site, but is it?
Not saying it's wrong, but it's just mean.
So here's the thing on Ohio State. This is a massive offense, and it's super efficient throwing the ball, and when they run, they're effective. Dwayne Haskins, their quarterback's been great. Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins, remember him? They've been really good on the ground.
Range.
Here's why I'm taking TCU to beat the spread, because I think that this Ohio State front seven is vulnerable against the run, and when TCU's really rolling, it's when they get the running game going, when they get Kyle Hicks and Shewo Olanalua, and to a certain extent Sean Robinson running. If they can do that, they can stay within double digits. I think this game's a single-digit game. I do think Ohio State wins outright, but I'm taking TCU plus 12.5.
I'm taking Ohio State.
Okay.
I'm taking them. Yeah, take the points.
Fine. And finally, Max.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hey, remember when these were two of the best teams in the country?
I can't believe anyone is still excited about this game.
People always say the third one's the worst.
Boy. 22 USC going into DKR Memorial Stadium, 7 p.m. Saturday. Texas, a 3.5-point favorite. So tell me, Greg, what?
Wait, really? I haven't seen the spread till now.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
What does Vegas see that the rest of us just don't? And to be fair, what are the rest of our abused, beaten, and bloodied hearts haven't seen?
So this is the return of the Jedi of this matchup, right? Is what you're saying?
Or the X-Men 3.
Yeah. So here's what they see. You're asking me what they see. You got to remember, basically 3 points is a home field advantage, right? So essentially, they're saying this game's because Texas is at home, they get a slight
site,
edge. On a neutral site, this would be a coin flip. And beyond that, I will say this. Remember, USC was the hotness last year, and Texas was what's the opposite
The
of
notness.
Yeah,
the
notness.
Oh, Max Thompson.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I got you.
Just,
Did
throw up the lob.
The notness.
And so I think they're looking at last year and saying, "Oh, this will be close." I think it could be. I look at USC. This offense is really sputtering. JT Daniels cannot figure out this offense. They'll probably want to run the ball more with Aka Cedric Ware. Remember him?
Yeah, baby.
The defense is beatable on the ground, and so there are some avenues here for Texas to win this game. It's weird because I have these conflicting feelings. I think Texas is going to win, but I also think Texas is going to win by a field goal. And it's 3.5, so it's a perfect line for me. I'm going to go with Texas. I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to take Texas. I think they cover the 3.5. I think they win. I think they get that big win, and Tom Herman feels a lot better.
Before I'm going to give Ish a chance here because I'm going to let him think about this.
Sure, go ahead.
How can you trust them at all?
I know.
I know. Whether you love them or hate them at this point, how can you look at anything they've done so far and go, you know what? I got faith.
I also just don't.
got faith.
Here's the thing, though, is that at the very least, Maryland had a competent offense. Tulsa had a competent offense. I don't know if you could say that about USC, and that's kind of where where I lean.
I will say I was rewatching a little bit of
28-25.
I was rewatching a little bit of last
which is
year,
not a cover.
and a lot of it was Sam Darnold and Ronald Jones doing stuff.
Yes.
Like it was like, oh, look at that throw by Sam Darnold, that awesome throw that an NFL caliber quarterback would make. So I see that.
A worse Texas team had a better USC team beat last year.
Yeah.
And this is at home.
Okay.
I like Texas.
All right. You know what? I'll do it too.
Yeah! We're all jumping into the
We're
lava
having-
pit together.
Texas State takes the overall the all-time
We're
series.
going to be. I mean, I hope not.
Actually, no,
obviously.
sorry. The 2006 didn't happen according to
Right.
USC. So.
Right. I hope we're not sitting here on Monday going, why did we do that again?
Right.
I hope not.
There's about a 40% chance we will. I feel like. I feel like there's
I
about.
feel bad
I feel like
for-
there's.
I feel bad for Texas fans. I realize every other fan base is like, don't feel bad for
I was
them.
about to say,
but
yeah.
boy, those last 2 games have been brutal to watch.
They really have. So anyway, those are our free money picks. We appreciate you bearing with us on this very long show. Max, you want to do final thoughts?
Nah.
Okay.
Oh
we're-
wait. Final free money pick.
Oh, we got. Oh,
Throwing in a sleeper.
okay, sure.
Canelo Golovkin this weekend. Who you got?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
That's this
baby.
week? Who was the one who got screwed last time?
Golovkin.
He gets the win.
Okay.
He gets
All
the
right.
win.
Sure.
We got to
him
set
too.
up. We got to set up number 3. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Golovkin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like 3G.
Okay.
Um,
Ish, who you got?
It's Triple G. Come on now.
All right. Fair enough. That's a sweep.